You managed under Daniel Levy at Spurs. What's he really like?
Wow. It's a difficult job for a chairman. It's obviously a difficult job for a manager. A manager always wants more. I say I was fortunate that I never had a transfer window, so I didn't have to worry about transfer. We had so many players there at the time. I remember Daniel coming in January and asking me, "Do you need anything?" I said, "Well, unless you're offering me Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, then no. I think the last thing we need is average player to come in the door and make up the numbers, because that's exactly what we had." So I didn't want anything, but I understand where they come from. They've got to run it as a business, and I also understand from a manager's point of view, he doesn't care how much money you spend, he just wants to be successful, and so do the fans. The fans demand that as well. Where I was at the football club with the old regime, Alan Sugar, I liked Alan. I thought he was a really straight talking guy, and obviously we've seen a lot of him. And where Daniel has taken that football club is chalk and cheese. I mean, it's an incredible job what he's done there. Now the fans will say, yeah, but we haven't won anything, and that's surely got to be the most important thing. Yeah, it's important for the fans. I understand that. It's important for the managers and certainly the players. But he's, listen, he hasn't backed his managers like a Man City, but how can he? Or some other clubs, like Newcastle possibly, in the future might start throwing it at Eddie Howe, and hopefully he becomes very successful. I think it's a very difficult job to be a chairman when the passion is there with the fans. I mean, the support at Tottenham is incredible, but they demand success and they need it quickly. They need some sort of success. So I think he's put all his cards in, on the table with Antonio Conte.
Is it the most important relationship at the club?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's really important to be singing off the same sheet, really. Yeah. And it's very, like I say, Ali, I think it's very difficult to sing off the same sheet when ultimately the manager just wants success and just wants the best players, and they have to look after the books, the chairman. So it's difficult, but I always found him okay. I was always honest with him. Never dressed it up any differently. Just shot from the hip with Daniel, and he told me what he felt backwards. So I never had a problem with him, and I think he's done a good job at the football club.
Tell me about how important Antonio Conte is to Spurs at the moment.
Well, he's huge because he's a proven winner and he's won at every club he's been to. That's hence why he's at the football club. I don't think the criteria when he came in was to play attractive football, and because he hasn't done that in his history. But there's nothing wrong with that, and there's different ways to play football matches. But if the criteria was to play attractive football and entertain the fans, then they shouldn't have brought him in the first place. Mm-hmm. They brought him in to do one thing, which is to win, and I still think he's capable of doing that. They're third in the league. Could hopefully go through to the knockout stages of the Champions League tonight. They could win a domestic trophy. It's all ifs. I think if he doesn't, Laura, then I think he won't be there next season. I really don't.
They want to turn him. This is reports that have come out saying that they want to try and get him to sign a long-term deal. For him personally, it's not usually in his makeup to stay that long at a club, is it? But if he's not won something, do you get the gist that he will stay and try and complete what he's brought in to do?
If he believes he's got the capability of being able to do it, I don't think he'll hang around and have another year where, if he doesn't win this year, I don't think he will stay at the football club. He keeps talking about the project. I've never heard him do that before. Where you can't have a project in 2 years. He's been 2 years most of the clubs he's ever been to. So he needs success instantly. But to be able to do that, invariably the clubs he's been at, they spent an awful lot of money. Now they have backed him, and they backed him in early in the transfer window, which is something which Daniel doesn't like to do. He normally waits till the last minute to do the signings, but put his money where his mouth is, give it to the manager who earned the right, and hopefully he can deliver for him. Listen, we're not even halfway through the season yet. I still think that he's capable of delivering a trophy for the club, and then if he does, I think he will stay. I think he will sign a contract, but you can't talk about the project, can't talk about Harry Kane signing new deals and Sonny signing new deals and other players unless you commit yourself as a manager.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.